This podcast is produced and managed by Kangaroo Fern Media Lab, Australia's independent video and podcast company. We do the podcasting hard bits so you don't have to. We make podcasts easy. Book a call at www.kangaroofern.com. www.kangaroofern.com.
Today, we're going to talk about possibilities once again. Last episode, we talked about possibilities and how most of us tend to kill a possibility or a possibly great idea prematurely. Hopefully, by now, as we see the potential and purpose of the ideas that pop in our minds, we can practice these 3 ways to welcome more possibilities, more ideas, more inspiration into our lives. You are listening to episode 16 of Wellness Friday with Coach Joy Karen.
Let's talk well-being and mental health. Whether you're an aspiring coach, content creator, or podcaster, you need to take care of yourself as well. Wellness Friday with Coach Joy Karen.
What's up, pod friends? I'm Joy Karen here once again, your creativity coach for Wellness Friday. This show is dedicated for podcasters and content creators in mind. This show aims to talk about creativity, inspiration, and overall well-being so you can keep doing what you love most. I would like to thank my podcast management group, Mika of Kangaroo Fern Media Lab, and to your amazing team for this platform and for the opportunity to spread the spark of creativity all over. So more and more people will do what they love most as they #sparkle within. Today, we're going to talk about possibilities once again. Last episode, we talked about possibilities and how most of us tend to kill a possibility or a possibly great idea prematurely. Hopefully by now, as we see the potential and purpose of the ideas that pop in our minds, we can practice these 3 ways to welcome more possibilities, more ideas, more inspiration into our life. There's this line from a movie that I really loved as a child. It goes like this: "Don't forget what happened to the man who suddenly got everything he wanted." "What?" Charlie asked. Then Willy Wonka replied, "He lived happily ever after." Such a sweet, perfect line to end a perfectly good story about Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It's their 51st anniversary this month, and it is only fitting to celebrate its magnificent impact to kids and kids at heart with a continuation of last episode's topic about possibilities. I can remember when I was younger that I had this really wild imagination. Books, music, and movies were my companions. And whenever the book ends, when the music stops, or the movies reach the credits, I have this kind of separation anxiety. So to cope, I would dive into my own world and recreate the story with me as my favorite character in my mind. The colors, the sights, the sounds are so real, so perfect, and it felt so right. It's like a secret garden that only I know where and how to get there. Until I forgot. Looking back, it's quite silly and sad at the same time to admit that I forgot why I forgot all about it. It's only been a few years ago that I started to reacquaint myself with how wild my imagination was by letting it loose a bit, letting my imagination run and flow. Let's admit, pod friends, it's easier to dream big, wildly imagine, and fearlessly predict when we were young. And I just wished we never forgot how to do that. Imagine who we could become. So while we're warming up our imagination muscles, let me share three ways to welcome possibilities, and hopefully it will lead you to opening up yourself to more of your own magic and sparkle. First on our list is to create a present list. Every day, anytime you prefer, make it a habit to list down five things that you love about that moment. Let me give you examples. Is it the way the clouds slowly dance in the sky? Is it the mood of a lazy Sunday morning? Or the scent of your morning coffee? Write it down or use your phone to take notes. Just list it down and keep going, keep doing it as often as you can. Of course, the first few days will be a combination of awkward and silliness. Yeah, and most especially if you haven't done anything like this before. But the goal for this activity, friends, is to be present, to be in the moment, to notice how you respond to the possibilities that are already present, that is already around you. Now, the second one on our list is to allow yourself to dream. I can remember at school, I was reprimanded a lot whenever I get caught daydreaming. I can get lost staring at this clearing near our school where there's just one big mango tree that stood in the middle. Well, most times it's during the math class whenever this happens. But still, I loved staring at that tree and recreating scenes in my mind. But friends, we're not in school anymore. So once in a while, give yourself permission to dream, to imagine. And then whenever you're ready, give yourself the.
We will be right back.
Are you passionate to help other podcasters? Wanted to connect to growth-minded podcasters and service providers? The Podcast Creators Society is now open for new members. Head over to www.podcastcreatorsociety.com/community. Are you ready to finally start your own podcast? Maybe you already have one, but need a podcast manager to help you level up. We're here for either. Book a call at www.kangaroofern.com www.kangaroofern.com.
Like what you hear so far? Make sure you never miss a show by clicking the subscribe button now. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thank you for your support. Now, back to the show.
Permission to dream again. In this day and age of productivity and results, goals are highly glorified. Though it is what makes possibilities a reality, and we all know that, we should never discount that a goal is a dream with a map. Friends, it all starts with imagination. It all starts with a dream, an idea. So if we deny ourselves to dream, to imagine, then what do you think would happen? Third, reframe your self-concept. As a teenager, well, like any teenager, I also experienced the search for the self, or what they call a bit of identity crisis. Unfortunately, no one told me that the phase can prolong from adolescence to adulthood. It's mostly and mainly the reason why I got into psychology. I thought it would help me know more about myself, but it didn't. The theories helped me understand a bit of human behavior, but it wasn't really helping me know more about myself. So, looking back, I can say that my journey of self discovery is like a slow burn movie. But still, I'm sure glad I did. So, what helped me? It was not the books I read, it was not the TED Talks I've watched, nor the advices that I got. Though I would admit that it helped. But what majorly helped me was my personal intention to really sit down and get to know more of myself. There's no manual published with our names written on it. So that gives us the opportunity to create one for ourselves. I started by noticing the things that I liked and why I liked it. I also noticed what makes me happy and doing more of what makes me happy. Discovering what skills I'm good at and what activities, what hobbies I feel good whenever I'm doing. It's like getting to know myself once again, discovering what are the truths I know about myself and debunking the assumptions that I formed in my mind that has crippled me for so long. By this time, with more compassion, more understanding, and immense love for ourselves, rewriting the negative narrative in our minds about who we thought we were and what we are capable of will begin to help us embrace ourselves whole. We deserve this, pod friends, because we are all worthy of releasing ourselves from the narratives that cripple us and rewrite it with the concepts that empowers us. So imagine if you had everything you've wanted, pod friends. What are the possibilities, the ideas, and the dreams that can become your reality? That's it for today, friends, and I hope this episode sparks something awesome in you. If you'd like to listen more of Wellness Fridays with Coach Joy Karen, don't forget to subscribe. If you want to connect, you can find me on Facebook. Just search Joy Karen, the Creativity Coach. The conversation doesn't end here, friends. It continues on over at the Podcast Creator Society. The link is on the description below. This is a community of podcasters helping out other podcasters in this beautiful platform called podcasting. So if you're also interested, you can also join us at the Podcast Freelancers Hub. If you feel that this is worth sharing and you know someone who can be helped with any of the episodes that we have published by the last few months, please do so. It will help us reach more podcasters and content creators who might be needing that spark of inspiration, creativity, and overall well-being. Again, thank you for listening, friends, and I'll see you again next week. But before I go, let me remind you that you can give yourself the permission to do what you love most, because that is a secret on how you can hashtag sparkle within. Bye, friends!
Are you ready to finally start your own podcast? Maybe you already have one, but need a podcast manager to help you level up. We're here for either. Book a call at www.kangaroofern.com. www.kangaroofern.com.